So this is what I have ready for if I want to be a D-gen and play a very, very strong Eldritch with, you know, all the ultras ever. So first of all, we have 3 Max C because Max C is insane. I know there's people who don't play hand traps in Eldritch, and I understand, but they're wrong. No, I understand why, but I feel Max C is so unfair that you still want to play it. It's a best of 1, right? So your opponent doesn't know that you're playing Eldritch. So if they are going first and you drop a Max C on them, they are more likely to not fully combo off because you could be another combo deck that could OTK them. There is nothing that you've shown so far that says you're an Eldritch player. So if you Max C them and they do like a shitty combo so that you don't drop a billion, you can then just destroy them with Eldritch. Because we're in a best of 1 format, I do feel it's still very good in this deck. Even if you were like, oh, it's not as good because it's Eldritch. Like, your opponent doesn't know. You're still gonna randomly win of just drawing this. Then 2 Lava Golem. I like 3 normally. This deck already has too many bricks. Like, there's too many cards in this deck that when you draw them in your hand and it means you can't actually set full boards, that you feel really bad. So for that reason, only 2 Golem and 2 Eldritch the Golden Lord. I would love to have more, but I just don't want to run too many cards that clog up my hand. So Lava Golem breaks your opponent's crazy board, and then, you know, you can get rid of it very easily with cards like Torrential, Punishment, Golden Land, and so forth. And Golden Lord himself. Then 2 Golden Lord. Now, in the mirror, I really like having 3. The mirror is basically about who runs out of Huaquero and Golden Lord first. So when you are playing more Huaquero and more Golden Lord, I do like that. But beyond that, 2 definitely feels less bricky. Then we have 3 Pot of Extravagance. Drawing cards is good, and this deck doesn't really use the extra deck. So when you play this, you banish some stuff. You're almost always going to go for the draw 2 with the Extravagance. And then you feel good because that means you either draw more of your like crazy out cards or your Golden Lord, or more importantly, all of those traps. Then we have 1 Black Awakening. Black Awakening is kind of worse than Scarlet Sanguine. So Black Awakening will basically get you a Golden Lord. You can only play 3 Scarlet Sanguine. I'm playing 1 Black Awakening. Then we're running 2 Pot of Prosperity. This is basically a worse version of Extravagance very often. Again, I don't want to brick. So we have 5 draw cards total. Now you could maybe replace this with more Floodgates if you wanted to, but I felt we already had a critical mass of Floodgates. Would you say Maxi is preferred over Ash just for the deception? I would prefer Maxi over Ash regardless. Ash is great if you want to stop a Maxi, but this deck doesn't give a damn about Maxi. Most you're going to special summon is 2 usually. Doesn't really come up. Pot of Prosperity. So yeah, you can just dig for good stuff. Usually, if I'm in a matchup where I'm like, damn, this is going to take a while, or my hand looks pretty decent already, I will only banish 3, because I don't want to be in a situation where I have to banish 3 with Extrav. So in the mirror especially, I'm only banishing 3 of Prosper, or I'll just kill the Prosper for Golden Lord, assuming that I'll get an Extrav anyway. Or if I already have one. Next, Cursed Eldland. This card I have a love-hate relationship with. I do like killing this for Golden Lord to then send something and so forth. It's also 1 less space for traps. Because of that, I don't know. I think it's still good enough. It's just I also understand why people cut it. Then we have 3 Torrential Tribute. Oh, by the way, if this is all too quick, if you feel like, damn, I'm not getting all the explanations, I already have Eldritch videos and Eldritch deck profiles on my YouTube. Go check those out, I guess. It would not make sense for me to explain everything a billion times. So then Torrential Tribute, yeah, just a board wipe. If your opponent doesn't have some negate to stop this, well, then they lose everything. Obviously, you're gonna win. Good board break card. Then we have Scarlet Sanguine. This basically grabs your Golden Lord. You want to max this out at all times. It's absolutely insane. Then we have 2 Punishment. It destroys stuff from your opponent, but then it also has even more value because it can get rid of something like this from your extra, and then it's 1 more removal. So like you can Punishment, send Natus, and then pop 2. Then we have Solemn Judgment. I see people playing Solemn Strike. That really feels like they're net decking Eldritch in real life decks, which are optimized for best of 3. Solemn Judgment in this deck is almost a requirement in my opinion, because we don't have Heavenly Lord Prison yet. And so if our opponent opens Lightning Storm, they win. There is nothing this deck can do about a Lightning Storm in this format, except for flipping the Solemn to stop it from happening, so you can at least keep your other traps and shit. In my opinion, Solemn Judgment is crucial. Absolutely crucial. It's the only way to not auto lose to Lightning Storm. Once we have Heavenly Lord Prison, of course, I would prefer that. Then we have Golden Land Forever. Once you have the Solemn Judgment, this card kind of gets worse, but it's still a really insane Omni Negate, so I still run it, of course. It's just, you know, there's some diminishing returns. Still, you can search it, so at 1 it's fine. Then we have a Bullshit I Win card. Imperial Order. Banned in the TCG right now for good reason. What about Anti-Spell Fragrance? Solid as well. Don't feel that great about it either. I play spells myself, myself. This I can kill on my own terms if I wanted to in like a grind game. There's enough floodgates, I feel, that make this worth it anyway. Next up, skill drain. Everyone hates skill drain for good reason. You turn off all effects and a lot of decks just scoop. They see the skill drain and they scoop. Or they have a lightning storm and then you're very happy if you have a solemn to stop them. So for that reason, you need to solemn judgment. Next, we have Vanity's Emptiness. This is another BS floodgate. Neither player can special summon monsters. If a card is sent from the deck or the field to the graveyard, destroy this card. So you already did your special summon, like you already have your Golden Lord, then you flip this and your opponent just cries. End of the game for them. Then we have Peekaboo. There can be only one. Each player can only control one monster of each type. If a player controls two or more, they must send some to the graveyard until they have only one. So there's a lot of decks that just, again, auto lose to this. We have like this package of Imperial Order, Skill Drain, Vanities, and a Peekaboo that all say you don't get to play the game, and that's a GG. I had summon limit over this at first. This boy is an SR, so in the deck that I actually run on ladder, I have that. If I had the crafting material, you know, if you're going all out on full power, perfected Eldritch, then this is definitely the deck. Then 2 Haquero, because it's the worst one of the golden lands, and again, unless you're in the mirror, this card doesn't do that much anymore. With that being said, there's some matchups definitely where banishing matters, of course, but like the destroy of Conquistador is often going to be better. So for that reason, we have 3 Conquistador right here. Also a good boy. Now, extra deck. I will say this extra isn't perfect, but I think it's much better than everything I've shown so far, because again, I didn't craft it fully. So the Nutus, this is just for punishment. I'm running 2 specifically because I play Extrav, so like my odds of banishing 1 are pretty solid, but banishing 2 is not that likely. So yeah, Nutus turns punishment into a double pop. Dragon Master Knight is somewhat of a meme. I just put it in here because it's the highest attack fusion, so punishment can get rid of anything. There's definitely better cards out there. I just don't feel like there's anything that's that big of a deal that I'm missing in here. If you have something you want to run over this, absolutely do so. Next we have Pleiades. Requires level 5 boys. These are level 5, so you overlay them into Pleiades, and then it can return a card, meaning everything with destruction, like anti-destruction, you can get rid of it with him. Then we have Gustav. Gustav is a good boy. So basically the way it works is this deck can OTK because you have a 2.5, you revive an Eldritch, you have a 3.5, so that's 2.5 plus 3.5 is 6, so they attack, then main phase 2 they overlay, then that makes Gustav, and Gustav deals 2. So you dealt 6, and now you deal 2, that's 8, that's GG. So you run 3 because Extravagance, again, can get rid of them, and that's the last thing you want. This is the only card you'll make. Like these others, okay, they come up, obviously, it's like ideal, but this is the card that you'll make 99% of the time if you're going into your extra. Next, we have the Other Cannon Boy, also a good boy. Wow, what a long-ass name. You make it on top of your other boy, your other cannon, and then this guy gets really big, and it also attacks multiple times. And then we have a Zeus, because we Xyz, we can board wipe with our Zeus boy, which is pretty cool. Then we have, oh, so this is probably the second most used Xyz, so that's why you see that those are the ones I've crafted. Like in my budget version of the deck, I have a Gustav and I have a Zeus, because that's the only things I really use. Then we have one Imduk. He's a cute boy. He only requires 1 normal monster, and that's pretty easy because you have these. These are all effectless and thus normal. So you can make him. During main phase, you can normal summon 1 World Chalice, blah, blah, blah. You don't use it. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster this card points to, you can destroy that opponent's monster. You can literally randomly kill stuff sometimes with this. You turn your garbage ass 500 attack into a Doggo, and then Doggo can sometimes randomly kill. And then finally, we have this thing. So this idea I stole from Raphael Nevin's deck profile. Basically, you can send this of punishment. If a set card you control would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. So you can banish it from grave to stop a lightning storm from ruining you. So that's a pretty cool little trick. I like that. Shout out to Raphael for that idea. I just took it. So yeah, that's the deck profile. I hope you found this very interesting. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao!